Beneath Europe's forests and fields, the past lingers, silent giants of concrete and steel. These are the bunkers of the Second World War, tombs of forgotten ambition. Step inside, and the world above vanishes. The air is thick with damp and rust. Silence presses in, broken only by the drip of water. These structures were built to survive unimaginable destruction. The world that built these bunkers is gone, but the bunkers remain, unyielding reminders of a history we might wish to forget. In their cold depths, they hold lessons about war and the price of survival. The underworld of war is not just history, it's a warning. The story of these bunkers is one of unprecedented standardization. Before the war, fortifications were unique, tailored to their locations. But the German command envisioned a defensive line stretching thousands of kilometers. To build it fast, they created the Regelbau system, a standardized construction. This was a catalogue of blueprints for hundreds of bunker types, each with a number and function. Engineering on an industrial scale, machine gun nests, anti-tank bunkers, command posts, all meticulously planned. The plans specified concrete, steel, even room layouts and wall thickness. This system enabled rapid, identical construction from Norway to France. Tools, methods, and prefabricated parts were the same everywhere. Factories mass-produced steel doors and armoured plates shipped across the continent. The Atlantic Wall became a vast assembly line. Regelbau was more than a building code. It was a philosophy, treating defence as science. Artistry was replaced by numbers and repeatable processes. The result? Over 15,000 bunkers, a concrete chain meant to make Europe impregnable. It was a testament to organization and the chilling logic of total war. Even shelters for survival were mass-produced, like shells or bullets. Fortress Europe was built not just with concrete, but with cold efficiency. Each Regelbau bunker was a masterclass in defensive engineering. Their purpose: shield soldiers and equipment from bombs and shells. Walls and ceilings up to 3.5 meters thick absorbed immense force. Entrances were indirect, with zigzag corridors and gas locks to block blasts and poison gas. Steel doors sealed the world away. Hand-cranked ventilation systems filtered air, protecting against chemical attacks. Bunkers were low-profile, camouflaged, and gun embrasures were angled for maximum fire, minimum exposure. Every angle was calculated for survival. Designers studied bomb craters and shell impacts, constantly updating plans for greater resilience. The bunkers were the physical result of a technological arms race. They were built to endure the worst modern warfare could deliver. In concrete and steel, they embodied the desperate hope to survive annihilation. Life inside a bunker was suspended animation. The outside world vanished. Only the gloom of electric lamps remained. Dampness seeped into everything: clothes, bedding, bones. Space was cramped, bunks stacked high, privacy non-existent. The Mannschaftsraum buzzed with noise, smells, and nervous energy. Daily routines, guard shifts, equipment checks, meals offered brief structure. Meals were simple, moments of respite in endless waiting. Tension was constant, waiting for orders, messages, or attack. Survival was as much psychological as physical. Soldiers fought boredom with cards, letters, and cleaning weapons. The fortress protected their bodies, but imprisoned their minds. Life in the bunker was defined by absence. The sky was lost. Soldiers might not see sun or stars for months. Day and night blurred, governed by clocks and orders. Concrete walls blocked all but mechanical sounds, ventilation, radios, voices. The only view outside was through a periscope, or narrow slit, heightening isolation. Sensory deprivation became psychological warfare, inflicted by the very structure meant to protect. Minds starved of stimulation grew anxious and detached. Soldiers were safe from bombs, but haunted by confinement. They became ghosts in their own machine. The Atlantic Wall was one of history's largest building projects, made possible by Regelbau's ruthless efficiency. Factories across Europe mass-produced components, rebar, armored plates, ventilation fans, all to identical specs. Organization Todt mobilized hundreds of thousands, many forced laborers, to pour concrete and haul steel. The scale was staggering, millions of tons of material, all for static defenses. Standardization changed military logistics. Parts and crews were interchangeable across countries. This created a single integrated system, a continental fortress of interchangeable parts. But the reliance on fixed positions was a gamble. Bunkers were strong, but static, unable to adapt or move. The fate of Fortress Europe was set in concrete, a rigid backbone. On D-Day, this rigidity would be tested by a mobile, determined enemy. The Atlantic Wall's strength was also its greatest weakness. Industrial might could not halt the tide of history. Beyond strategy, the bunkers were homes to ordinary men. Daily life mixed military discipline with domestic routine, maintaining generators, pumps, and sanitation. Food was central. Simple meals from tinned goods cooked in cramped kitchens. Sharing a meal was a rare comfort. Leisure was precious. Reading, card games, writing letters, small acts of mental survival. Weapons were ever present, a constant reminder of purpose. Cleaning and inspecting arms was a solemn ritual. At any moment, routine could shatter into battle. Life in the bunker was a fragile balance between monotony and terror. Today, these concrete behemoths lie abandoned, scattered across Europe like fossilized bones. Nature reclaims them. Sand, ivy, and sea erode their surfaces. No longer instruments of war, they are monuments of silence and strategic failure. Inside, graffiti and faded German stencils linger, ghosts of a forgotten order. Visiting these sites is somber. They force us to confront the scale and industrial nature of modern conflict. To touch the concrete is to feel the weight of history and human labor. These bunkers are tangible links to the past, silent storytellers in rust and stone. Their legacy is ambiguous, scars of division, feats of engineering, symbols of folly. They inspire not pride, but reflection. They warn of the consequences of ideology and total war. The bunkers endure as chilling reminders of what was built and what was lost. Their silence speaks louder than any monument. In their shadow we remember. The bunkers of the Atlantic Wall are not unique. The world is dotted with abandoned architecture of conflict. These sites invite us to step into history, to witness the human cost of war, measured in lives lost and lives spent waiting. They reveal both ingenuity and waste. For every bunker, a school or hospital was not built. These structures ask us to consider the true price of defense. Exploring them is an act of remembrance, honoring those caught in war's gears. History is not just battles and leaders, but quiet endurance in concrete rooms. When you see a forgotten fortification, pause and reflect on the lives it contained. These places are full of questions and warnings. They challenge us to learn from the past's follies. The most enduring structures we can build are not of concrete, but of peace and understanding.